Hey everyone, today I am working on my NC Miata and I am going to be installing a new head unit with backup camera. Hey everybody, so I'm going to be installing the Kenwood DMX 7709S in the Miata. This one has a capacitive touchscreen and it has wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and that's mainly what I am looking for this install. So to install this into your Miata, you want to get one of those Metra dash units. So this one fits both single and double DINs, which is why it has two cutouts. But if you want to use the double DIN, you have to cut out this middle part. And this is the packaging that it comes with. And just note that there's a different part for the NC1 and NC2, NC3. I'll have it linked below in the description for which one you'll need to get. Alright, next you'll need to get two of these Metra wiring harnesses. This is what it looks like. And essentially you need two because you're going to be taking two of these wires from this one and putting it into here so you can retain your steering wheel controls. Next up I have the Access ASWC1, and this will help me retain the steering wheel controls. This part is optional, but if you want to keep the controls on your steering wheel, you'll need this. For the backup camera, I'm going to be using the Pixel backup camera. Got this off of Amazon, but you can really just pick any one you want. Okay, so I have the wiring harnesses out, and what you're going to want to move over is two of these middle pins over. I'm going to be picking these two blue ones. There's one with the blue and white stripe, and then one solid blue. And if you can see in here, it corresponds to this top row, and then you can see two pins right here. And then you're going to want to move it over to these two to the left, and leave the middle open. And I have a paper clip to shove into this hole so I can depress a pin that's holding the wire in, because right now you'll see that it doesn't come out. And there's a locking mechanism that we need to do. Alright, so I'll be taking it from this harness. So you'll feel like a click once you're in there. Alright, so I got one of them out. Alright, so it's one wire out. And now we're going to do the next one. Okay. Alright, so that's both of the wires out. So, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a middle tab right here. That's what we pushed down when we shoved in the paper clip. And what you're going to do is just get your nail back in there. And you're going to want to raise it up so when you move the wire over to your new harness, it'll lock into place. Okay, so now I have the two tabs up on both the wires, and I'm going to be plugging it into the other harness. So I will be leaving the middle open. Alright, so this is the wiring diagram I'll be following. This is for a Kenwood 706S, but this should apply to any Kenwood head unit. And this is the wiring harness. You'll see all the pins and wires, and how you want to face it is face it like this. So this, make sure you have it in this orientation when you are wiring everything up. Everything should be color matched. The only confusing part maybe would be the middle one where we move the two wires, because that's using the same colors. So you'll just need to be careful with those blue and white striped ones. So if I flip it, I want the tab to be facing up. So you want the tab to be facing towards where the ridge is up here. Okay, I think. Okay, so this one will go on the end. Okay, you will hear a click. And then let's make sure it's in. So I'm giving it a little tug, and it's in there. Okay. And now I'll do the same thing right next to it. So you're going to want to leave the middle one open. Okay, So now I got it in, and give it a little tug, and it's not falling out. So now, this is the wiring harness afterwards. Alright, I have the wiring diagram pulled up. I have the harness for the head unit, and I have the wiring harness we added 2 wires to, so now we're just going to be crimping them together. Hey, this is Ryan from the future, and found out that I was missing the RCA connectors from the list I had earlier, and I've ordered this Isicule RCA connector that's solderless. So you got your positive and negative terminals, and then you pretty much just stick your wire in there and screw it down. Alright, so here is where I left off my wiring harness from the other day. And I went ahead and created these 3 RCA connectors. So for the negative, you're going to want to use the wire with the black stripe, and then the solid one will be the positive. So I'll demonstrate what I did on this last one, since we have 4 speakers. Okay, and what I did, just to kind of help it not fall out, is I folded the wire over. I did this carefully to make sure I'm not breaking anything on both the positive and negative ends. Like that. And then I unscrewed these. Okay, one the black stripe into the negative, and then the one that is just solid goes into the positive. Okay, and these are nice because you can just screw it down. And they're in place. Give a little yank to make sure, and yeah. So there's our 4 speaker wires. Everything else is connected between the Metra wiring harness and the head unit, and then we got the access steering wheel controls back here. So I have some of it taped off with this black, this isn't Tessa tape, this one is Red Wolf because Tessa tape was out of stock, but I think we'll take out the head unit now, plug in everything, make sure it's working, and then I'll come back with this tape to just make everything look professional and make sure I'm not hearing rattling noises when the car is running. Alright, so now I'm going to be removing the head unit. This will change if you have an NC1 versus an NC2/NC3. For NC1s, you only have to remove the head unit, but for NC2s and NC3s, you'll have to remove the whole center console. Alright, I finally got it with the pliers. That window switch every time is the worst. So now you just gotta slide this up and it should go through. It's not likely, you just need to get the parking brake a little higher. Alright, almost there, and there we go. And now we have the center console out. Okay, so we have the center console out, and now I've already started taking these parts out a little bit. But you'll need to take out these two screws. Again, this is specific to the NC2 and NC3. NC1 has a little different process. And then now we have two body panels that we can take out to reveal some screws. Okay, so I just had to use a little bit more force to get out this side panel. And then there's a screw down here and one screw back here that you need to take out. And then this bottom part should come out, but you'll need to unplug some things. Okay, I don't think I really need to remove this yet, so I'm gonna hold off on it. I am gonna attempt to remove this aux cable to route my USB through to here. So we'll do that later. Alright, so I took out this metal knee brace piece that was down here. There were 5 screws around here. You can see right there. And yeah, it was just under the steering wheel. And you should see the 10mm bolt behind here. It's behind that metal bar in front. But I'm not sure. I'm the second owner of this car, so maybe they already took it out. But I was able to take out the radio, pull it out without taking out a 10mm bolt because I couldn't find it. So I don't know, maybe the last owner already took it out. And now if I pull it out, there should be some wiring in the back. Ah, there we go. Okay, I think I got the radio disconnected. Now I need to disconnect the climate controls. Alright, so I've gone ahead and cut off the middle part of the dash part. And then I've taken the climate control out from the old head unit. And that was just 4 screws. It'll fit over like this. And then now I just need to screw it in using the old screws. Next I will try to put the head unit into this. So I did some struggling and I got the Kenwood speaker in. It actually wasn't that hard. The Kenwood speaker came with this metal box. I ended up not needing it. And I used the 2 plastic pieces that was included with the dash kit. And I used these screws. And it pretty much just clips into the side. And then I was able to get their trim piece to snap over the Kenwood. So it looks pretty OEM and flush. So now it's time to plug it in and give it a try. Okay. So now, let's try to plug it in. And see if she's working. Alright, so I got everything plugged in. And I'm gonna, this is for This cable's for the CarPlay, I believe. Got USB to Lightning. And that should be ready. So let's boot her up and see if this is working. Where's my keys? Alright. Oh, it turned on. Is it working? Oh, it is on. Alright. Let's just call that good for now. Alright, so I tested out CarPlay. I played some music and it's working just fine. All the speakers are working. It actually sounds better than it did with the original radio, which is a big plus. I didn't know that would happen. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Now I gotta route the microphone, the GPS, and I gotta route the USB cable since mine is a wired CarPlay unit. And we gotta tape up the wire and just make it look professional. Alright, hey everyone, so this is the unit right now. So I've routed the microphone wire. It goes behind the head unit out into the steering column right here. And then I just pasted it on right there. See if I can get some better lighting on that. Yeah, so you can see it right there. And so I wired everything up. I did run into issue where I missed the wire for the Kenwood unit specifically. You need a blue and yellow wire that's connected to the brown wire and the access steering wheel control module, and it connects to that weird 3mm connection. I don't even really see here, but it's the two brown wires, and I didn't use it initially because I didn't think I needed it, but it turns out I did need it. And then I plugged it in and it still wasn't working. To get it to work, I needed to use the paperclip and reset the device, and then when I turned it on, the access was able to properly learn that this was a Mazda MX-5. So if you are running into the issue where this turns on, it blinks green once, and then it doesn't do anything else, then try resetting it and turn off your car, turn it back on, and it'll probably be able to auto-learn it after that. Okay, and I have everything plugged in. I also did the Kenwood parking wire bypass. I don't think you need to buy anything for it. All you really have to do is ground it to any screw on the back of the head unit. And then for the GPS, I just taped it to the back up here. It's like behind where the hazards are up here. And this is all plastic, so I think the antenna should be able to go through and to the glass. So yeah, we'll see how well that works. I just couldn't figure out how to route it over there, and at this point I just want to get this out there. So yeah, everything was just wired up. I got the... oh, I do need to plug in the GPS. That is important. So I got that in. Need to make sure I plug in the climate and then put everything back in below. And then I'll need to route the CarPlay wire, USB wire, out through the bottom down here, and I'll show you how I'll be doing that. Alright, so this is what it looks like once I've put in both the screws in on both sides, and I made sure to route the USB down to here. Alright, so here's my janky solution. It's not that stable, but for my use case, I'm really just going to be plugging it in once and never really unplugging it. So when you're plugging it in, it's actually pretty stable because you're pushing into it. The main issue is when you're pulling it out, the duct tape definitely is not strong enough. So what I'll do is just try to remember to just push onto it before I pull out the USB. So it's a little jank, but it works. And then this end will plug back into the CarPlay unit. So yeah, now let's get this back in the car. Alright, so this is what it looks like reassembled and with everything plugged in the back. Got the cigarette lighter, the new USB is plugged into the head unit, and the two heated seat plugs, and then I had a bunch of excess wire in the back, so I tried to just tie it up and tidy it a bit. Here's an update with it screwed in. You can see the USB ports down here. It moves a little bit, but yeah, if you don't want it to move, you can definitely like super glue it or something. And there's a head unit up there looking pretty good. Alright, I think this is the solution I'll be going with. So this is what the backup camera is going to look like. And when you open the trunk, alright, so you'll see that the camera is the wire's going to be right behind here. And I'm going to make it go into the headlight, the left one. And then there's one screw up here for the bumper tab that I'm going to take out. And then, so I'll come out over here. But if you look in here, there's like a squishy material that I believe is keeping out the water. So I'm going to try to squish the wire against it. So you see the wire is going into the hole from the bottom into the hole instead of from above into the hole. And I think that should prevent water from getting in. Alright, so I hope you can see this, but I took off this metal sheeting right here, and I got a metal clothes hanger, taped the wire to the other end of it, and shoved it through. Pretty much it goes through this part of the car, and then it came out near the seatbelt, like back here, but I was able to pull it out up here. And yeah, so now I'm going to pull through some more wire, and then figure out how I'm going to route it through the main cabin to the head unit. So I have got the rear camera all wired up. So you can see I have a lot of excess wire back here, but I routed it to the center console. It comes out over here from back there, and then goes along, and then I routed it back here behind the heated seats area, and then up to the head unit. And on the head unit, I plugged it into the rear camera back there, this yellow one right there, and then the red went into the reverse wire. So now I'm just gonna tidy it up a little bit and then give it a little test. Just to check the signal, I'm gonna go to the rear camera. It has no signal because I'm in neutral right now. So let me put it into reverse. And there we go. Looks like the camera is working. Very nice, very nice. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is the end product. We have the wired CarPlay going from down here to my phone, which is on a MagSafe holder. And we also have the backup camera capabilities. So if we get into reverse, it shows the backup camera. So if you found this video helpful at all or enjoyed the content, please leave it a like and subscribe for some more.